Take two.
Go.
We are about to remove a vanity.
What's going on in here?
This weekend, I am filming in a flight path shop. How hungry are you? I'll take all day. This is potentially the most awkward project ever. I just said jazzed up.
Behind the scenes.
Hold on, wait, you're gonna use this talking.
Go.
There you go.
Behind the design 401, take one, mark.
Okay, now go, really go.
I'm comfortable.
Guys, welcome to Weekender Behind the Design. This weekend was awesome. I hung out with Kim and Bryce and made over their bedroom into what I pretty much wish was my master bedroom. I had so much fun in this makeover, and if you, wait. If you haven't watched this makeover, stop right now. You've gotta go see it. The transformation is one of the most dramatic ones that we've ever had here on The Weekender. So click below to go watch the episode first if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, right? It was pretty crazy. There were some wild card projects in this episode, I will not lie, and they worked out, and I love their space. And thankfully, Kim and Bryce did too. We just had a blast all weekend. Kim and Bryce had a lot of things they didn't like about this space. So they really didn't like the clutter. Felt like so much stuff in their room. They just felt like every surface had stuff on it. They have 3 small kids. There's just stuff kind of everywhere, and that trickled into their master bedroom. They wanted it to be like an oasis and a getaway, and it just had so much stuff, they felt like. They also weren't fans of their headboard. It just kind of was old and passed down to them. They didn't really love it. They also detested their carpet, and rightfully so. It had served a long, hard life and had a lot of stains, some holes in it. It just really needed to go. Then what they did like about the room was pretty much nothing, actually. They really couldn't think of a single thing that they loved about the space, but they did like that they had a closet in there, because a lot of times in these older homes, they are built with like really, really tiny closets or no closets at all. So they were thankful they had a closet. That's something. But other than that, they were like, please get rid of everything in this space. We want it completely different. So then we chatted a little bit about their style and how they would describe their style. And this is like one of my favorite things I've heard in a really long time. They said they were wannabe minimalists. So they were so far from minimalist, but they really thought there was an appeal to that. So style-wise, you guys said that you describe yourself as minimalist wannabes, which I think is kind of awesome. I think everybody wishes they were a little bit more minimalist.
Yeah.
I can't turn you into a minimalist after I leave, that's all up to you, but I do want to kind of run with that theme design-wise throughout the weekend. They also said that they kind of wanted a combination of rustic and urban, okay? They lived in Gloucester City, so they are in a really cool kind of area that's growing in New Jersey. Both of them grew up kind of out in the country, but now they have a more urban life, and they wanted to bring those two styles together in their master bedroom. Let's talk about one of the coolest DIY projects I've ever had the opportunity to tackle. And this was another one where we kind of got to get a little creative, and we got to think through like, here's what I want. I was looking for inspiration, and I look all over for inspiration, but I was going through some magazines and I saw a picture of a parking garage. But I saw the parking garage and saw the cement walls in the garage and was like, oh my gosh, I love that. That would be amazing in Kim and Bryce's bedroom. I don't have enough time to like build a cement wall. What can I do to get that look? So I started thinking about joint compound, and if I tinted it different colors, could I possibly get the look of faux cement? The answer, yes you can. And this is one of those really scary projects where I had never tried it. I didn't have time to do a tester anywhere, so we just put it up on the wall. So Bryce and I, we took a couple different containers of joint compound, we tinted them to what I thought would work, and this is one of those lessons in just kind of trusting the process. If you're from Philly, you'll totally get that, but you just need to trust the process. And we put the joint compound on the walls, and we just kept working with it. And there were, I will not lie to you, there were a few moments in there where it was a little scary, and I was like, oh gosh, I have just covered his walls in joint compound, and right now it looks like my 9-year-old did it, and I don't exactly know how this is gonna go, but I just kept smiling to Bryce and be like, yeah, just keep going at it. What it took is just us to find the right rhythm with the trowels that looked good, and once we found what we liked, we layered the dark and then lighter colors over it, all of a sudden we had our system and our process and we could go along the whole wall. And oh my gosh, I was so excited about it. And actually the coolest part, if you try this, even if you don't try it on a huge wall, even if you did like a small little area, watching the joint compound dry, it goes through so many different color variations where it was almost like a surprise to us, like what the final product was gonna be. So it was really cool, like kind of going into the next day to see, oh, how this dries and how amazing it looks. So it was a fun project. It was a little scary project, but you just gotta trust the process. You guys ask me all the time to hear about projects that didn't quite go as planned. Well, I've got a doozy for you, okay? I had planned to rip up their old, pretty gross carpet and wanted to find hardwood floors. I had asked a few questions about their home and knew that because of the age of their home and the style of the home and the fact that there was some hardwood in the rest of the house that we were gonna find hardwood under this carpet. And I had a great whitewash project planned. Whitewashing, just in case you don't know, is kind of like when you combine water and paint together, and it kind of gives like an aged look, which I thought would fit in really well with what they were looking for. We pulled up the carpet and the hardwood floors were in really rough shape. I mean, I had planned to use a bunch of hand sanders and, you know, some heavy grit sandpaper, and it didn't work. It didn't do anything. I have these homeowners there like sanding away and I'm like smiling and nothing's happening. Like, I don't know what paint was used, but it was like the world's strongest freaking paint on those floors and it wasn't coming off. And I kind of see the homeowners going and looking at me and I'm just like, yeah, just keep at it. And it took me maybe 2 minutes to realize this is not gonna work. We needed a plan B. I actually think with the whole situation we have going on here, we should try and get all the spackle up and then without watering down the paint, paint the floors. They were pretty quick to jump to plan B because I think the idea of hand sanding that floor for like 3 million hours did not sound good to them either. Here's the lesson from that. DIY projects don't always go as planned, especially if you have an older home or you're not really sure what's under a carpet or if you're opening up a wall. There's just times that you can't predict what's gonna happen. So keep your expectations in your design loose so that you can go to a plan B if needed. And in the end, I actually think that the painted floors worked out really, really well for this. And if someone wants to come along and try and sand them in 10 years, be my guest. I read something recently that sitting is the new smoking. So is that offensive to people that smoke? That's what they say.
Well, you shouldn't smoke.
You shouldn't, okay, so I can say that. So like it's so unhealthy for you to be sitting all the time. That's why I'm standing right now, you just can't tell. But we wanted to give Bryce a standing desk. He works from home and building the standing desk, super, super easy. What wasn't super easy? Figuring out the freaking height with Jason. Jason, how tall are you?
Why?
Just tell me, how tall are you?
Are you sure?
Can you just come in here for a second? I think that just was a little harder than I needed to be. Hello.
Oh, hi.
You look like a nice 6 feet tall.
I'm exactly 6 feet tall.
Great, so is Bryce.
With my lifts.
With your lifts. The guy had to give me the hardest time ever. We have a lot of fun during the weekend and it was really, really fun to work together, but he made that a little difficult for me. He likes to pull my chain, if you will. Is that what it is? Pull my chain? Rattle my chain? I don't know. Rattle, huh? My cage. Yeah, so this weekend was a major win in my book. I had so much fun with Bryce and Kim. I love their makeover. If you guys have any other questions about it, leave them below. I'll answer them. If there's a product you want to know more about, a tool, anything like that, just leave a question. I will get back to you about it. And make sure that you are subscribed to this Lowe's YouTube channel so that you don't miss a single episode of Weekender Behind the Design or The Weekender. See you guys next weekend.